He was a hardcore atheist, a scientist who believed in nothing beyond particles and formulas. But then, the whispers began. Whispers in a language he never learned, dreams of deserts, stars, and a name he'd never spoken, Allah. One night inside his lab, the microscope revealed not atoms, but an eye watching him, and a voice inside his heart told him, "Say Bismillah, from horror to miracle, from darkness to divine light." What turned this atheist into a believer? You won't believe the moment that made him cry like a child in a mosque. Stay till the end, because this is more than a story. It's a journey from disbelief to divine love. Watch now. The night was darker than usual in the city of Oslo. Snow blanketed the streets, muffling even the occasional car horn. Daniel Berg, a 32-year-old Norwegian researcher in theoretical physics, stared out of his frost-kissed apartment window, his breath fogging the glass. He was a man of science, a man of facts, and above all, a proud atheist. Or so he believed. Daniel had devoted his life to unearthing the mysteries of the universe. He sought answers in quantum particles, black holes, and parallel dimensions, never once considering the divine. His mother had once been a devout Christian, but after her death in a car crash when Daniel was 10, he buried all thoughts of God alongside her. But for the past few months, Daniel had been tormented by dreams. Vivid, lucid dreams. In one of them, he was wandering a desolate desert under a blood-red sky. In another, he saw a minaret crumbling into the earth while a voice called out from within it. Not in Norwegian, not even in English, but in Arabic, a language he didn't understand. Yet the meaning reached his soul like wind slipping through the cracks in stone. He shrugged them off as stress. After all, he had been working long hours at the university lab, trying to replicate a controversial quantum fluctuation experiment. But when the same voice began whispering in the silence of the night, even when he was awake, Daniel started losing sleep. The whispers were not threatening. They were mournful, filled with longing, as if someone was calling him back from a great distance. One evening, as Daniel walked home from work, a figure emerged from the alley next to a mosque he had passed countless times without noticing. The figure was an elderly man in a long white robe with eyes that shimmered with tears and wisdom. "You've heard it, haven't you?" the man asked in perfect Norwegian. Daniel stopped, chills running up his spine. "Heard what?" "The call. It comes for the restless heart." The man then disappeared into the shadows before Daniel could respond. Alarmed, he ran after him, but the alley was empty. Only the echo of the call to prayer lingered in the air, though the speakers on the mosque were silent. That night, Daniel dreamed again. But this time, it was not a desert. He stood in a vast void filled with stars, and from each star came a name, each a name of God in Arabic. Ar-Rahman, Al-Ghafar, Al-Hakim. He woke up sobbing, for reasons he couldn't explain, driven by something he couldn't name. Daniel walked into the mosque the next day. Inside, a middle-aged imam greeted him with a kind smile. Daniel asked him about the names in his dream. The imam's eyes widened. "You heard the Asma'ul Husna, the 99 names of Allah?" "I didn't know what they were," Daniel said, trembling. "But I need to know." The imam explained the names, each one a door into the understanding of Allah's mercy, power, and wisdom. Daniel sat for hours, listening like a man starved for truth. Something inside him cracked open, letting light pour into places he didn't know existed. But his journey was only beginning. That night, he decided to test what he was feeling. "If you are real," he said aloud into his empty apartment, "show me." The lights flickered and went out. Everything went black. But within the darkness, he saw light, not with his eyes, but within. A silhouette stood before him, cloaked in luminous mist. It raised a finger and pointed behind him. When Daniel turned, he saw a younger version of himself, crying in front of his mother's coffin. The child looked up and said, "I wish there was someone who could save her." Then the silhouette spoke, in Arabic, but the meaning was clear in his heart. "I am the one who gives life and causes death." Daniel woke up with a scream, drenched in sweat. That night, he Googled every mosque and Islamic center nearby. He needed to know if he was going insane or if this was real. He found himself in an Islamic bookstore the next day, flipping through an English Quran translation. His hands trembled as he read, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth." Surah Fussilat 41:53. It was as if Allah was speaking directly to him. But things were about to get worse before they got better. 3 nights later, he was working late at his lab when the air suddenly dropped in temperature. The walls of the lab seemed to pulse with a shadowy energy. When he looked into the microscope, he didn't see particles. He saw an eye, bloodshot and ancient, staring back. Terrified, he staggered back and knocked over a rack of samples. Then came the whispers again, only this time, louder, anguished, echoing around the room. He collapsed, whispering, "Make it stop, please." A voice answered, not from the shadows, but from his own heart. "Say Bismillah." He had heard the word before. He whispered Bismillah. The air returned to normal. The whispers ceased. The eye was gone. Daniel began studying Islam seriously. He read the Quran, books of hadith, attended halakas, and learned Arabic. Each page, each prayer, peeled back another layer of his doubt. The more he resisted, the more the signs grew undeniable. One night during Ramadan, he sat in the mosque watching the congregants pray tear away. Tears streamed down his face as he whispered, "I believe." He took a shahada that night. "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah." The whispers never returned. The void was filled. The dreams ceased, replaced by peace. He changed his name to Dawood and became a speaker on Islam and science, helping others find harmony between faith and reason. But he never forgot the miracle, the horror, and the mercy that pulled him from darkness. Because in the end, the one who thought he understood the universe realized he knew nothing until Allah showed him everything.